Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about some news that broke last night. Some very big news for DC fans. Apparently, Warner Brothers released some information regarding some of their upcoming films. 3 films that are coming out in 2021, and 1 film that possibly might be coming out in 2022. The first 2 films, which I'm not going to go in depth about, are DC Super Pets, which will be about, the pets of the DC universe. That's right, if you know the comic book lore, maybe even some animated stuff, you might know that some superheroes like Superman and Batman have pets. So they're going to do an animated film based on the super pets like Crypto and maybe Ace the Bat Hound, etc. I don't know too many others, so those are the 2 main ones that I know about. And then, of course, Suicide Squad is one of the films that they are targeting a release date. James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, has been writing a script for the new Suicide Squad movie after being fired from Disney because of some tweets from 10 years ago. I guess we can't be forgiven for sins of the past. But yes, Suicide Squad is going to be called The Suicide Squad, and it's going to be sort of a reboot, a soft reboot, if you will, of the Suicide Squad we got before. So we might have some returning cast members, but we might have a lot of new ones. I'm going to guess the ones that they'll keep are Will Smith and Margot Robbie as Deadshot and Harley Quinn. And then the rest of the characters, they might bring in new characters to kind of make it feel different from the last movie and kind of let people know, don't worry, this is not directly connected to the last one you saw, because that one got a lot of mixed reviews. Some people liked it, some people did not love it. I think what most people can agree on is that it wasn't a perfect movie at all. With that being said, the 2 movies that I do want to get in depth into are the 2 Batman movies. First of all, Suicide Squad got a August 2021 release date, and coming along with it in that same year will be Batman, The Batman, 2 months later in June. But here's the catch. Well, you know what? I'm going to save that one for the one that I want to talk about right now. The potential 2022 movie coming out is an animated Batman Beyond film. That's right, a Batman Beyond film is being looked at over at Warner Brothers Animation, and this will be their answer to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Obviously, that movie's getting a lot of love right now. It's even nominated for Best Animated Picture at the Academy Awards. Some people even feel, this is what I've heard from other, people like myself, some people feel it should be nominated for Best Picture. So there's a lot of love for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And look, Batman Beyond was a TV show that lasted 3 seasons back in 1999. It aired in fall of 1999, and it ended in 2001. And I was a huge fan of that show. I still love the show. I still have fond memories of it. I haven't gone back and watched in a while, but I still remember good portions. Something that I have gone back to rewatch quite a bit was Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, the direct-to-video animated film that they had back in the day. And so my love for Batman Beyond is still there. I think it is a great concept. For those of you that want to know a little bit what Batman Beyond is, it takes place in the future where Bruce Wayne is now too old to become Batman. In one of his final battles, he even had a heart attack that physically told him, you know what, I better stop putting on the suit and stop fighting crime. I think I'm getting too old for this. So as the years go by, a young teenager who also had a tragedy in his family eventually finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, steals the suit, and becomes Batman. Obviously, Bruce Wayne sees maybe there's potential in this kid, so he trains him under his tutelage, and Batman Beyond is born. Obviously, there's been some stuff throughout the years that has helped Terry McGinnis's story become more rich and flavory. For an example, in the animated series Justice League Unlimited, they did an episode titled Epilogue, which kind of brought Batman Beyond's story full circle by making it reveal that Terry had actually had some of Bruce's DNA inside of him, and that he was actually part Bruce Wayne, because Cadmus, who was a villain in the Justice League series during that time, wanted to create a Batman because they felt Batman should always be around, but because he's mortal, they had to use some of Bruce's DNA inside of another man, or another woman, sorry. But they used Terry's father, his real legit father, to carry the DNA to allow him to put Bruce's sperm. It gets crazy when you think about it. So what I'll say is there's some really complicated stuff going on in Justice League Unlimited. And to wrap up Batman Beyond, Terry is essentially Bruce's son. So whatever you thought of that episode of of Justice League Unlimited, I loved it, and I thought it enhanced the story of that character in that world. So I don't know what will make it into the actual movie, but you'd have to figure some of that would factor into it if they want to go long term with sequels. But focusing on the first two episodes, which I'm going to guess is going to play a large part in this movie, essentially what I told you earlier is what will factor into it. And yes, of course, I've been hoping for a Batman Beyond movie for a long time. And I always thought it would have been live action, though, right? I remember back in the early 2000s, my casting choices for Batman Beyond, Clint Eastwood was my top pick for an old Bruce Wayne at the time. And I don't know who I would have picked for Terry McGinnis now, but I know when The Dark Knight Rises came out and they had Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that movie playing the cop, John Blake, and then they had his name be revealed to be Robin, or his middle name was Robin, which everybody thought was stupid. It was just a nice little wink to the camera to let he was sort of like Robin. What I was annoyed by was that John Blake, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, found the Batcave, and it was hinting that he would become the next Batman, carrying on the torch that Bruce Wayne faked his death to go and live a normal life afterwards. I thought his name should have been Terry McGinnis. I would have taken a real-world Terry McGinnis taking up the mantle of Batman. It would have made sense and it would please the fans, but I think they didn't go with that name because they knew that the hardcore fans would know the name Terry McGinnis. Or maybe David S. Goyer and Christopher Nolan just didn't know about Batman Beyond, and they were like, we didn't think about that because we didn't know about it. Oh well, next time do your research. It would have caused you a whole lot of backlash if you had just named Joseph Gordon-Levitt Terry McGinnis, because he looks like Terry. To me, he looks like what Terry could have looked like in live action. So yeah, there's my thoughts on that. I'm looking forward to the animated version of Batman Beyond. I hope they don't go all comedic with it. Like, you don't have to be too comedy just because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was a really funny film. It had those moments of levity as well, and I hope they see that's what made Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse successful. It wasn't just a all-out comedy like the Lego Batman movie, which is great on its own rights too, but it had a lot of heart and a lot of levity to the film too. So there were some of those nice, quiet moments also. So hopefully Warner Brothers Animation looks at that and sees what works. Not that knock on the Lego Batman movie. I love that movie too, but they're two different movies, and there's something I want from a Batman Beyond movie than I want from a Lego Batman movie, which can be more on the comedy side. Now, finally, the big news that I wanted to save was the Batman. Matt Reeves is directing, the director of the last two Planet of the Apes movies, the great Planet of the Apes movies. He announced recently that looks like June 2021 is going to be the release of The Batman. And the big disappointment in all this is, unfortunately, Warner Brothers and whatever, they all announced that Ben Affleck will not be returning as Batman, sadly. And this sucks. This sucks because Ben Affleck, whatever you thought of Batman v Superman and Justice League, Ben Affleck was not the problem. The cast was not the problem. All the actors I thought were perfectly cast. The movies themselves are what they are. No one complained about Ben Affleck as Batman, and it sucks that he can't redeem himself after Justice League, because that wasn't his fault. And now that people wanted him to come back, a lot of people wanted Ben Affleck to come back, despite what Justice League was, right? I liked Batman v Superman a lot. I didn't love it, but I liked it. And he was a great part of that movie. I can feel when I watched Justice League that he wasn't happy with the way Justice League was turning out. Or at least when you really watch those, you can tell in the film which scenes were directed by Zack Snyder and which scenes were directed by Joss Whedon. And the Joss Whedon scenes are the ones where I feel like he's out of it. He doesn't want to be in this movie. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn apart. I'm excited because Matt Reeves is directing this movie. And look, I'm looking forward to whoever they cast as Batman, because if we've learned anything by now with seeing all these Superman and Batman actors and even James Bond actors, for crying out loud, anybody can play these characters. The audience just has to be willing to give them a chance, and people will give them a chance, and it always acts like that. Some people will be torn apart at first and complain about it, but then eventually we all get on board if the actor proves us that, hey, this guy did a really good job. Look, Joaquin Phoenix is going to be playing the Joker next. I think we're all going to be happy with that choice, because he's going to prove us that he can pull it off. I mean, it's Joaquin Phoenix, for crying out loud. I thought Jared Leto was pretty good as the Joker. I just felt he wasn't given it enough to really go all out with it. Affleck, look, Ben Affleck, we're going to miss you, buddy. I'm missing you already, but hey, look, we've had so many other Batman actors. We had Christian Bale, we had Michael Keaton, we had Adam West. They were all great for their time. We're going to have another Batman actor that's also going to carry on the torch that Ben Affleck is leaving behind. So with that being said, look, leave down your comments below, guys. Are you still excited for the Batman movie despite Ben Affleck walking away? Or I know everybody's probably kind of sad about it. And tell me your thoughts on the Batman Beyond movie. I'm super excited about it. I hope other people are excited about Batman Beyond. Maybe one day I'll do a review for the whole Batman Beyond series. I don't know. With that being said, I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, especially if you're a huge fan of superhero movies, Marvel or DC, or anything else out of the realm. Like, I'm a fan of Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, and you know, it doesn't always have to be just Marvel and DC. They are the kings of making superhero movies. But there are other superheroes out there to explore as well. So with that being said, until next time, take care.